Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You see that face? Yeah, I'm sure you do. We're at the home of Mr. Frank Ward in Charlottesville, Virginia. Hi, Frank. How are you?
Just fine, just happy as a lark.
Yeah, and you've been living here how long?
I would say about 5 years since my late wife Jean passed away. So after 63 years of a wonderful marriage, and I hope all of you have something like that to say.
Well, I hope 63 years, that's certainly something to shoot for. Gosh, we were in 5th grade, or class 8, your first year at Country Day, and you were our football coach. You used to coach us in the mornings. We used to have football in the mornings, and then you were our social studies teacher. And you used to tell us the greatest war stories. Now, tell me, you were in World War II?
Yeah.
And you were over in Europe?
That was in Europe, yes. And then later I was called back and served in Korea against the North Koreans and the Chinese.
My goodness. Well, you certainly had some wonderful stories for us, and they were well documented, your own experience. That was fabulous. And then I remember you also coached varsity football with Pop Hughes, didn't you? Yeah.
My years there at Country Day were great. I enjoyed them very much.
Yeah, and then you were head of the athletic department for a while?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think Russ Stickney, you remember Russ Stickney?
Yeah, basketball coach.
Yeah, exactly. I think I don't know if he directly followed you.
He might have.
Okay. And then you went to Lake Forest Country
Lake Forest Country Day. And I stayed there for about 24 years, I believe.
And tell me about your students there. They were awfully nice to you, weren't they?
At Country Day?
Yeah.
Well,
Lake Forest Country Day.
Yeah. Well, so was St. Louis. I've been treated extremely well in my family, every place I've been, because I don't know, maybe it's the way you treat others, or others look at you and see that maybe he is a nice person to be associated with. I hope that's the way it is, and I've always gotten along with people and no negativism, and it's just been a wonderful life so far, and except for losing my wife. That's the only bad part. She passed away a few years ago, but other than that, I have enjoyed life thoroughly.
Well, one of the reasons that I just had to come down here and see you is that you were definitely one of my favorites, and it was really because you were the coach and I was very unathletic, and you took me under your wing and you made me feel just as important as any other fella on the football team or on the baseball team. You were just a wonderful guy, and you just gave a guy a tremendous outlook and tons of encouragement.
Well, I think, I don't know, I think it harkens back to liking children and treating them all the same, and there are some of us that were born with great athletic ability and skills, and there were others that were born with 2 left feet. And I think I was put in, I just think in my lifetime, I am 9-1 at the moment, speaking to you all, that the good Lord had something in mind, and instead of going on and coaching at Notre Dame or Michigan or Southern Cal, somebody has to coach and teach the youth athletics and well-being and how to take lumps and get along, and if you're not the greatest athlete, so be it. And I always remember Newt Rockne said there has to be a sense of humor when you coach, and I think I possess that, and a lot of coaches today miss the boat by being too serious. It can be serious, surely, but it doesn't have to be the end of the world. And I think when you're working with young people, it's not the end of the world. It's fun, and you teach them a skill, and you enjoy it, and I enjoyed it, and I think you could enjoy coaching at Lake Forest Country Day or Lake Forest and St. Louis Country Day or anywhere like that just as much as if you were coaching at Michigan, except you'd be under 100 times more pressure, and you can have happiness at both ends and enjoy it and enjoy life also. It was great to me. I just enjoyed coaching at that level, and some people don't. They want higher, and I just thought the world of coaching every day going out there.
Now, you're very modest. You also were a Major League Baseball player, weren't you?
Yeah, there are 2 words, though, that you're thinking of, major and minor. I never made the major. I was minor, and I always wanted to play baseball, and I just got the opportunity, but it was minor, and people are kind enough to say major. I never made the major, but I enjoyed baseball so much, and I did have a little experience in minor, so that is big prestige to me.
And then you were on the field that the Hindenburg balloon, the dirigible,
thank you,
landed on.
It is not a balloon, sir. It is a dirigible. Most people say blimp. Go ahead.
And you were there when the dirigible exploded, actually.
Yes, that's right. I was 16 years old in 1937, and my father, who had been employed there by that organization, asked me if I wanted to be a groundsman pulling down the ship. They did not have enough sailors or Marines at the naval base, so I did it 5 times in 1936 when the ship came over, and then again the first ship when it crashed in 37. So I would put myself I'm joking of course, as an expert. I was a 6-time member of the landing crew.
Now I want to ask you a question. One of the things that we love you for so much is you gave us all nicknames as we played in sports and whatnot. And I'm going to say a few names, and I want you to repeat them back to me, because these were Frank Wardisms. Can you say Artie Lump Lump?
Artie Lump Lump. I know him now. A little fella who was a little rotund, and I would say, you know who you remind me of? A guy named Artie Rump Rump.
And how about Whitey Knight? He was a blonde hair. Can you say Whitey?
If you had white hair, there must be about 8 or 9 Whiteys, I'm sure.
Okay. Well, Frank, thank you so much for allowing us to come into your home and talk to you. We loved you when you were there. We still do. And it's great to see you. We had a wonderful evening with you.
Thank you so much. A pleasure is mine.